What's happening, YouTube?
What's good? What's good?
You in the building on the Triple L show. Right now, it's just me and the good homie T Streams from the D. What's going on in the D, T Streams?
Man, house arrest.
You say a forced house arrest, right?
Yeah, man. So it ain't too much going on here, man. Just chilling, eating, doing a little work in the office here, and just trying to make every day count while we inside, bro. Nothing much.
Hey, man, it could be that you in there on house arrest with that ankle monitor and you can't walk past your mailbox, but
yeah,
you at least could do that.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but it's actually good, man. I got a chance to step outside, get a little breather this morning. I went out like real early, just to get a little breather, and it was actually nice, man. And because the last couple of days I've been on 100% total isolation, and so just to be able, to get out and just sort of get a little fresh air, it was nice, man.
Yeah, it's a blessing, man. You realize you realize how fragile life is when things like this happen. And then you actually can appreciate the small things in life, like just going outside, taking a breath of fresh air, man, walking to the mailbox.
Yeah. I'm sitting up there looking at my yard man, I really want to pull the lawnmower out, put some flowers in and plant some grass, till the soil.
See? Getting creative with the Rona. So here's what we're going to cover tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Me and the good homie T Streams. Melyssa Ford released a statement last month saying that she was dating Drake, and while she was dating Drake, she found out to the grapevine that her friend Takara from Top Model was dating him too. And the question that everybody wants to know is, well, what happened? Who was supposed to let him go? We got the answers, and we'll get to that in a minute. Then we're going to go to coronavirus, the latest on coronavirus. Coronavirus is shutting down everything from IG models is struggling to Wimbledon is shut down for the first time since World War II. And then we're going to end on Tiger King. We can't get rid of this Tiger King dude. A couple of months ago, in 2015, he was upset and went on a rant saying that he wants to be able to use the N-word.
I heard.
Why can't he use the N-word? And Shaquille O'Neal has come back on a podcast to say he categorically did not know Tiger King. He does not own animals, and that he donates to all these charities, and we'll dive into all those. But first, my man T Streams, what do you think about Melyssa Ford finding out her America's Next Top Model friend was dating Drake at the same time? And they just basically waited on Drake to cut one of them loose, and he never did.
Yeah, I'm sitting up here. I was just sort of glancing through it right here on capitalextra.com and sort of checking it out. And so it looks like they had some little love and hip hop thing jumping off on there.
Yeah, man.
So it's, hey, that's Drake. If he was able, to pull it off, and he was able to pull it off. But the thing about it, what I'm seeing is they actually had from what I see, it was dialogue back and forth between the two concerning them, but nobody left. So for the women that want to say it's Drake's fault, you definitely can't say it's his fault. Right. And I'm sure a lot of men is just sitting here well, hey man, if you're gonna let me do it and y'all know about it, I'm gonna have me a throuple. And at some point, dudes then tried it at one time or another, and women as well. And and I guess that one door that you always look for is, dang, if the other one is with it, I'm
gonna get it.
And then Drake's status is as surpasses both of theirs. So hey, they had their little love triangle jumping off.
It just comes down to you only going to do what people allow you to do.
Right.
And both of them allow him to get away with this until XYZ time that they both decided to move on. So, no one can fault Drake for this. He's got two very, very decent African-American women on both of his arms. What do you expect them to do? And then when he finds out that they both know, he's not putting no pressure to say, I'm going to let either one of y'all go until one of them go. And that's what happened. And we move on. And now I'm sure a lot of them are probably thinking, damn, man, maybe I should have stuck with Drake. Maybe I shouldn't. But if I had to bet my money, I bet they one of them wish they would have stuck the thing through.
Yeah, whatever happened to Carl? Did she? I remember she like won like America Top's Model like a long time ago or something, and then or either she didn't win. I know she was on there, and when she started doing like modeling for like bigger women or whatever.
Yeah, she was doing some plus size modeling, and she didn't win that particular season of America's Next Top Model. The girl that's on Real Housewives, Eva, she won. She won that particular season. But that particular season of America's Next Top Model, I went back and saw, was the most watched season when you had two sisters making it to the final four of that show. And honestly, man, both of them could have won.
Yeah.
But I think Eva just had certain more features that are more pronounced in the modeling world. But since then, Takara has tried to do some productions that a lot of us might not know about. She's still done some modeling, and she's also done some PSAs to just kind of get rid of cyberbullying and to quell some of the thoughts that you can't have a few extra pounds and still be in a modeling contest.
Right. Okay. Gotcha.
Yep. Next subject. Now, this is going to be the one that's going to eat up some time. Coronavirus. Its updates. It's shutting down sports like Wimbledon, and also it's causing IG models to lose big money online. So if you haven't been following the story, me and Taylor Todd are both business guys. There's this loan out there called the SBA 7A program that you guys can take advantage of.
Yep,
Taylor, it sounds like these IG models don't know about this program.
Well, some of them so dense they probably don't, man. But I don't know. I guess would that be like a career, or is that just something that you just do? I guess more legitimately if they're endorsed and stuff like that, probably. I don't know. I don't really know how that would go or how that would affect them. But I'm assuming if they are endorsed and getting X amount of dollars for views and for promoting and stuff like that, then maybe they can apply for it if that was their primary income.
Right.
So I'm not sure, but it seems like everybody that gets on Instagram wants to be an Instagram model nowadays, it seems.
Well, here's the thing about IG that's a little different from YouTube for those of you that don't know, because there are a lot of haters out there that think if you have a massive following on any platform, you're just getting paid out the wazoo. And it don't work like that, especially on IG. IG is a platform a little different from YouTube, whereas YouTube, if they figure out, and they usually do this every month, they figure out you're buying views, buying subscribers, they'll purge those bought subscribers based on the analytics they have on the back end, and they will ban you off YouTube. There's no such thing as that takes place on IG. So when people have a massive number of subscribers, what a lot of sponsorships do with them is give them a temporary sponsorship to see how they drive traffic to their website or how many products is bought. And so I'm sure a lot of these IG models is hurting right now because a lot of the ad agencies that would normally do business with them have packed up and gone home too. They ain't trying to be out here getting the Rona. They said, we don't want none of that. We don't want no Rona. We don't want corn on the cob. We don't want none of that. That's got to begin with a C. We don't want it. And so there's like a lobby group for the IG models that's complaining. And I sent them a message saying, you do know you can get this SBA loan. You do know you can file for unemployment if you have been filing your taxes. They fall in the same place as YouTubers and independent contractors fall into. So just try to stay chill and not worry too much.
Well, yeah. On that note, all you can do is just share the information. Maybe some of them will take it. and take it and see what they can do with it. Make it work.
Exactly. Let me shout out the homie DVD King. He just got up here and super chatted me $5. Every time DVD King gets up here and we go live, he super chats me $5. And anybody else that want to super chat, hey, a brother's window is open. The window is open. You just throw the dollars in there. I mean, I'll take them. Now, I mean, I might even take off this Avengers hoodie if I got to do that to get some super chat dollars now. Because I
like that, man.
I appreciate that, homie. I appreciate that. You know, I got to do a little something.
What's up, BB?
Let me shout out my homie Tim Windsor, who I hope you out there being safe. I'm going to shout out Support Gaming, Truth Seeker, I'll be on Fleet, and my homie Jocelyn Jackson, who's supposed to be doing YouTube. And I want to know how your channel is going as we are officially back from my YouTube hiatus. Taylor, have you ever seen anything shut down sports the way the coronavirus has shut down sports?
No, man, I've been on this earth for 45 years, and it's not very long, but it's long enough to say that something like this is still new. And man, I like, now it's still wow me every time I look at it. And when I'm looking at the news today and they talking about it may even be longer, and possibly reaching out into the threshold of summer, I'm sitting up in here like, God, what?
Look, I'm worried too because my baby girl is supposed to be here July the 7th.
Oh man!
And the way the quarantines work with a lot of hospitals, I've heard these horror stories where the husband is not even allowed in the room while the wife is giving birth. You can come in after the baby is out, but you're not allowed to be in the room. And my wife know I was trying to do a full-fledged production for the birth of my first child after 40 years coming into the world. A full-fledged production. Plus, I want to be there to give her the support she needs as she's going to go through this time. So I'm definitely worried about it. In terms of sports, I've never known that they would shut down something like Wimbledon or golf, sports like that. Wimbledon is getting shut down for the first time since World War II. Me and you weren't even born then.
Yeah, that's a long time. And that really just goes to show you the magnitude of everything. I mean, I'm going through sports, different sports channels and stuff, and just taking a look, and a lot of them just really like showing classic reruns and stuff like that. And it's like that on dang near every channel. ESPN Plus is just sort of like right now, boxing is UFC is everything is. Then you got WWE. I don't even watch that, but they still trying to get their little thing on in their little training center. I don't know how long that's gonna last, especially with WrestleMania supposed to be coming up. When that's supposed to be next week or the week after next or something.
Yeah.
So the whole, I was looking at the Washington Post today, and they were saying that this may even affect the NFL, and I'm like, hold up, the NFL is still a little bit ways away. What do you guys know that we don't know? What's up, Larry?
What's up? I made it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had a little technical difficulty.
It's all good, brother.
The Rona didn't get me. I'm still here.
All right.
Man, I was telling T Streams, I was like, man, I hope Hurricane Rona ain't get him.
Nope, I'm still good.
So Larry, you caught us in the middle of talking about how me and T Stream, we about the same age, and we've never seen anything shut down sports the way this has, to the point where Wimbledon has announced for the first time since World War II they are canceling. And y'all know I love some Serena Williams. Like that is entertainment waiting to happen. And I'm highly frustrated, but I understand why they're shutting down. Have you seen anything, Larry, that has cut sports in this manner in your lifetime?
No, not like this. I mean, I've seen strikes that happened. I've seen individual strikes with different leagues that have happened. I've seen lockouts, but nothing to this magnitude, nothing at all. And it's just hitting everything. I mean, some of my favorite sports are sort of the alternative ones. So I'm like, I'm a big cycling fan. So I'm really worried about, the season, because the season's already been cut off so far. And I'm just thinking like the Tour de France is probably not going to happen. We're probably not going to see the Giro Italia. So, it is what it is.
Boy,
man, I gotta share this, man.
Go ahead.
I got my laptop over next to me. So when you guys sort of see me, I'm sort of trying to do like up to the moment, sort of like internet searches while we're talking. So I just sort of happened to Google like, is there any sports still being played now? And it took me to an article in the Washington Post that actually said, looking for a sport to watch, it won't be easy. And then as you go down the article, it's saying that with all the social distancing going on, some of what you can still find is what does it say? Iditarod sled dog.
Iditarod.
Yeah, I did. Okay. Yeah. Trail sled dog race. And it has the little image of the guy sitting in the middle of nowhere, nothing but surrounded by snow. And
yep.
Well, I guess if we want to watch some sports, if UFC ain't gonna cut it, maybe you can watch some dog sledding.
Man, the UFC still supposed to happen, right? Dana White said he was going to do it with an empty arena.
Well, I know they supposed to have had a fight night this last weekend, and they waited all the way up to about 4 hours before the match, before the events to actually cancel it. I was on standby for it, and it ended up canceling just a few hours before. But he's looking for a way. I tell you that he's looking for a way, because first,
right? I heard that what's his name, Khabib's fight was canceled because he can't get out of Russia. And so they were looking at a possible replacement for him, but I think they were going to replace the fight and not just him as an opponent. But I from last thing I heard is they were still going to do it, but I don't know. But I'm looking at the comments. Someone said WrestleMania was canceled, but I heard WrestleMania was still going to happen. They were going to do it the same thing. They were just going to do it in a private arena.
And I thought they was going to do it without the crowd.
Right. Yeah, they were going to do it in a private venue without the crowd, and it was just going to be, they were just going to do it for the live stream.
Now, Larry, I told you I saw the Divas wrestling without the crowd, and when I tell you it was an utter atrocity.
Really?
I love the Divas, don't get me wrong, especially the ones that was wrestling then. But without the crowd,
wasn't the same, huh?
I hate to bust some of y'all bubbles, especially the rednecks watching me. I'm gonna hate to make y'all upset, but damn it, wrestling is not real, and you gotta have that crowd to even.
Whoa!
Road of
what did you just say?
I'm sorry. I hate to tell my West Virginia folks, wrestling is not real. It's not real, and when you don't have that crowd there to take up some of the noise and some of the bumps they do, you really see how unreal it is. So I think WWE need to cut the rope, man.
That would be a bad move to do right there, because it's the crowd that sort of makes all of that electrifying. And as hard as an athlete, and I'm just speaking from like a high school athlete. It's hard to really just sort of just get all the way into your zone, because you be looking for that cheer, and that's what
right.
gets pumped, especially if you get stormed or something like that. And to just be void, I was sharing with somebody the other day, like with UFC, I like listening and laughing at Bruce Buffer when he getting ready to announce folks when the crowd going crazy.
He's fired up.
Yeah, if you ain't got nobody but the two folks wrestling, a camera guy and the referee and a ring announcer, it's like all bad, man. It's like,
yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have another person coming online to this show. It's my man DVD King. DVD King, speak to the people.
What's good, man?
No problem with it.
Sweet, man. What's up with you?
Man, I'm in the house trying to see what's this about to do, man. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, man. It's gonna affect everything, and it even affects the people on his panel, as far as that have services and different things like that. As far as T Streams with his service, as far as me with mine, because you gotta understand this, and this is the main important thing. Yeah, ain't no sports on, so that's number one. That affects T Stream because ain't no pay-per-views. Ain't nobody gonna be like, well, ain't no sense of getting nothing right now because ain't no pay-per-view fights. If ain't no movie theaters open, and with companies, prime example like Disney. I'm gonna take Disney for example. Disney right now has two objectives. They can either they can push Black Widow back until next year, like everybody else been doing with their movies, or they can do B, and they can release it on Disney Plus. Now, if they push it back, that might be a good thing. If they release it on Disney Plus, it's gonna be a bad thing. So they gonna have to, sit there and weigh out the pros and cons on what they want to do. You got to understand, with movies like Bloodshot, movies like The Invisible Man, they already had they run in the movie theater before this happened. Black Widow is a major movie, and for them to be thinking to release it on Disney Plus, that means Disney is hurting right now.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course they're gonna take it. If they do that, they're gonna definitely take a hit. I mean, you look at the last couple of Marvel movies, even the ones that didn't do very well still did very well. Yeah. So if they, with that particular movie, if they did that, which I think that's probably what they're gonna end up doing.
Well, you got to look at it like this. This is one thing you got to look at it. These are big companies. You got to understand this. If they do that, it's gonna have these other companies look like, okay, that means if it fails, we fail, because that means the other companies are gonna be like, nope, we pushing all our stuff back until everything go back. So what does that mean? Ain't nothing coming out. Ain't no new movies. Because
that's not. I'll tell you what Disney's gonna do, right? Disney, because they're so big and they can afford to take L's for a good long while. Disney's going to use this opportunity to really boost up their Disney Plus, subscription base. They're going to release, because I've already seen it that where Black Widow is supposed to release on Disney Plus on April 30th. So they're going to use this opportunity to really boost up their subscriber base. And I wouldn't be surprised if right after Black Widow in the next week or so, they release another movie that was supposed to be in the theaters. And they do that continuously through this process, because I think what they're going to do is they're going to say, okay, you know what, sign up. And now once you signed up, you can watch Black Widow and Frozen 2 and all the other stuff that was going to be out. And now you think, okay, I'll keep it for a month so I can watch these movies. And then when the next set of movies comes out, you're going to be like, oh, snap, I'm going to keep this. Because when you look at some of the other movies that were out in the theaters, and then now you can rent them at different places at Vudu or iTunes or Google Movie, whatever, they're all renting for like $19.99 to watch them. But if you can watch as much as you want on Disney Plus for $7.99 a month, man, they're going to make a killing.
No, well, that would be true if it wasn't services like me and T Streams and these other free, and like Cinema HD and all that. Now that's gonna be the problem, because you got to look at it like this. Go look at the numbers that the movies that they did release on digital that they thought was a good idea turned out to be a bad idea for The Invisible Man, Bloodshot. But only thing that saved them is they had that run in the movie theater for those couple of weeks before the movie theater shut down. You're talking about a brand new movie that's about to hit the internet, that's going to hit Disney Plus. So as soon as it hits Disney Plus, what do you think it's going to be on?
I agree that there's going to be a lot of that movie's going to be pirated a lot, and there's going to be a lot of people out there pushing it out there. It's going to be available for streaming stuff. It's going to be available on BitTorrent. It's going to be available for downloads on various streaming sites. It's going to be everywhere. But there's a lot of people out there that don't want to deal with those services. There's a lot of people out there that only want legal, legitimate license, services. And so they're still going to make a ton of money. I think when they do their financial forecast, they account for all the piracy they know that's going to happen with their movies. They do. They know there's going to be a certain amount of it, and they account for it. They may have to readjust their models if they send it straight to video versus going to having their movie run. I'm sure there's going to be some adjustments there, but I think Disney's just going to use this as an opportunity to say, hey, we can release, Black Widow, and then like Sean Green would say in the comment section, then they can go with Mulan, and then after that, whatever the next big thing is coming, they only have to do that, once a month, really, because you sign up for it, you say, okay, I'll keep it for the month, and then the next big movie's coming out, and your kid's saying, I want to see Mulan. Okay, I'm going to keep it for the next month. Oh, I want to see such and such. All right, I'm going to keep it for one more month, because you start doing the math in your head. You're like, wait a minute, this cost me $7.99. It's going to cost me probably that just to go to the drive to the movie theater and back.
Yeah.
So I'm going to piggyback on what DVD King said. I think that they should do it, but here's what I think is going to happen. I went to E3 a couple of years ago. That's the gaming expo. During that time, they was already in the video game industry was already in talks of saying, look, what do we need GameStop for when we can release these games over the airways straight to the console? We give it enough space. Eventually, fellas, that's gonna happen. I'm seeing the movie theater getting eroded one way or the other one.
And this is the way. This is the way.
Exactly.
This is what happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all they did.
Right now.
With video games, we didn't have the bandwidth to do it back then, because back then it would take you, it would take you 8 hours to download a 1 or 2 gigabyte game. Now, you see these games up there at Call of Duty that's 60 gigabytes, and you can download and have that up and running in 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah, and that's true.
5G coming, with 5G coming, it's going to make it more apropos to just stay at home, charge a fee per, whenever the movie release, you charge people like a per home fee, like, $10 or something. And eventually I see the theater's going to get cut out based on what happens when they go back and look at the data of releasing these movies, because Disney has already released Frozen 2. They done dropped that on Disney Plus and other places.
Well,
when you think about it, if you look at what the studios have, if you like right now, they're charging like $19.99, or let's say $20, just to round it up. They're charging $20 for those first run movies to rent them, to see them here at home. Now, if you look at the cost of what they're probably making versus what they're making with the theaters, because when they run that with the theaters, you're gonna have a little bit of profit sharing with the theaters. You have all the cost of making your masters that go out to the theaters, all of that. You pretty much eliminate all those extra costs when you can stream it directly to the consumer, and then all that money is your profit. You don't have to share. So even if you're making less per person watching, you're probably still making more money.
Yeah. Well, you got to look at it like this too, though, and I understand what you're saying, but you got to understand this: when you hit the theater, you're hitting a different geographic, you're hitting a different kind of clientele. So, prime example, if just say you're Fox, Larry, you're Fox, T Streams is Sony, and Lamont is Marvel, and I'm Universal. Okay, I got Fast and Furious. Now, Fast and Furious is a big movie. T Stream, just say he got Bad Boys Part 5 coming out. Okay, that's another big movie. Larry, you got, say, Frozen Part 3. Lamont, you got Spider-Man.
Why have to get Frozen?
Wait, hold on, no, because I'm going to point something out to you. Wait, I'm going to point something out to you real quick. Lamont, you got, just say, you got the Hunt 2. You got the Hunt 2. Okay. Your movie comes out first, Lamont, at the movie theaters. The Hunt 2. It did okay. Now, this whole epidemic hit. Okay? This whole epidemic hit. Now, you say, well, you know what? We done made a little bit of money off of our movie already. let's just go ahead and throw that and get it out there so we can make some more money, because now our box office numbers are not going to look the same. So basically, you put your movie out. Okay, go back out. Okay, it's over. Okay. And now me, see, yeah, my kid was watching Playing with Fire. Now you got T-Streams. T-Streams sees what you do. T-Streams says, you know what? We just paid Martin and Will. We just paid them all this money. We got to make our money somehow, some way. Do you think it's a smart thing to hold it or push it back? And you go and you say, you know what? You go look at the numbers for next year. You see, ain't nobody got a certain slot. So you like, forget it. We're going to push it back. Now we look at the numbers with Fast and Furious. We like, you know what? We seen what The Hunt did. We don't like the numbers. We don't like the numbers. It's not going to benefit It's not going to benefit us because we spent so much money to build to shoot this, and we had to pay the actors. So we're going to be in a hole if we don't release it, if we don't get that global release. So we push it back. You come along, T-Streams, Mary, and you got a platform. All the other three don't have a platform. We got to release to iTunes and everything else. You have a platform that you release on for $7.99. And you say, you know what? We're gonna go ahead and release to our platform. Now you release to your platform. The numbers that you would have did in the movie theater, you don't do the same. But it's okay because you're a kids movie. You didn't spend as much money as I did with Fast and Furious, as Lamont did with Spider-Man, and as T-Streams did with Bad Boys. That movie you spent, you're okay with taking a hit. You see the difference on why certain movies will come out, that it's a smart move to release certain movies on VOD, and it's a smart move not to.
I mean, I hear what you're saying to trying to get your return on your investment. I definitely hear that. But let's not forget that we already have a model out that's proving to be very successful and profitable, and that is Netflix. Netflix is out there with its actual studio and its platform. And basically what has happened is Netflix realized when they were buying the rights to air other people's content, they were realizing, hey, we can create our own content that's just as premium, that's just as desired, and we can do it for less money if we create our own content. And so they sort of did it in reverse, where they had the platform, they just had to create the content. So now basically what happens when you have these other studios, they are going to just need to create the platform, and some of them already have it. If you look at Sony owns a whole ton of crap, and Sony already has their platform with Crackle. All they have to do with something like Crackle is just simply put in a paid tier for it, and boom, they're up and running in no time. They can run all their Sony Picture stuff through Crackle, through their paid tier. And
yeah, and that's true, yes.
I actually think that eventually over time, movie theaters would make more money if they put it over their app versus making people get out the house, load up your 10 kids, and go watch a movie in the theater. I think that over time, if they made this the new norm, they probably could make a little bit more money if they find the sweet spot for the price. You can't be charging $20 per movie.
Well, you gotta understand. You gotta understand. Yeah, they'll make a little bit of money, but with so many pirated sites and so many free APKs now, they're gonna take a hit too. Because now it's being talked about that because I get a lot of screenings. I go to a lot of screenings, and we get these emails. They're trying to figure out how to bring the screenings to home. They're trying to figure out how to bring the screenings to your home if you sign up now. So what is that telling you? If they do that, that's really going to be trouble.
I'll say this. I get the whole piracy thing, but they keep on making accommodations for this. Some of it is raising the price, and some of it too. One of the things that they really did to help that some of these companies and studios have done to help lower the amount of piracy that's happening, is actually lowering the price and offering them available on stream, because a lot of people are like, I don't need to worry about getting a message from my ISP that I bootlegged a movie if I can pay $5 or $9 or $12 a month to get a whole host of movies because all this stuff is now available on Netflix, or all this stuff is available on Disney Plus, or all this stuff is available on Crackle or one of the other sites. So once they made it more affordable for people to have it and watch it and pay to get it legally, people aren't pirating as much anymore. Like, I don't feel like you don't hear as nearly as much about pirated music as you used to, because now there's so many ways for people to get affordable music. So,
and to get it free.
Yeah, and to get some of it free. Some of it is ad supported, and that's fine. Some of it you can only get the albums if you actually pay for a premium tiered service. Like sometimes you have to go to places like Tidal, and you'll get the new Jay-Z or Beyonce album, or maybe somebody has an exclusive on Spotify for 90 days or something. So, as long as people have an affordable way to get it, I think a lot of people are willing to pay for it. There's some people that are just cheap motherfuckers that won't pay for anything. Me and Lamont have talked about this time and time again. There are people out there that even when we post stuff on how to get free stuff, they bitch about the fact that there's ads in it. Or they bitch about the fact that they have to actually sign up for a free account. I posted how you can get free Sling TV with their premium tier for 14 days. All you need is an email address and a password. That's it. And once your 14 days is up, if they're still running the promo, you can do it again. People are bitching.
Oh, wait a minute. No.
You have to sign up. I need to register, and they're complaining.
Wait a minute. I got
people that complain.
Wait a minute. I got one better for you. I got a friend right now. That has, like, I think about 15 BET Plus accounts, and I was giving them out. I was giving out. I'm like, look, all you have to do is get streamed. That's all you have to do, and you'll get BET Plus for a year. Motherfuckers, they was complaining about that. They was like, why you just can't give me the BET Plus? I'm like, it doesn't work like that. I'm like, I'm trying to help you out. You want it? I'm trying to help you out, guaranteed. So I understand on how people, when it comes to free things, they be complaining,
Yeah. I'll tell you,
T-Stream jump in here. Larry, let T-Stream jump in.
Okay, sorry, bro.
No, it's all good, man. I'm gonna have to. I agree with you. I agree with you, Larry, man. It's you're just gonna always have that ultra frugal, dirt cheap person. I like to go to the movies. You know what I'm saying? And I got access to just about anything. And I encourage my people, hey, you guys get out and go to the movies, enjoy yourself, spend some time. But some folks just don't, they're just not going to get it. I hope that, me personally, I hope that this does not become the norm, because I use some of the same apps that everybody else use, and then when I see them pop up on there, man, I'll be like, man, I am not going to watch that movie.
Right.
But see, you don't watch it because it's a cam. Now this eliminates cams. Yeah. So now it's gonna be more people be like, oh, it's HD. I'm about to watch it because you see what I'm saying? You wasn't gonna watch it because you knew it was a cam, and that was the whole thing. That's why a lot of people was going to the movie theaters, because when you get a movie, all right, all I gotta do is wait about a couple of days. There'll be a cam on there, so that's fine. They were still able to make their money because there wasn't that many people watching it. But now everything's coming out HD. Think about it. How the movie theaters, it makes no sense. The movie theaters might not even come back because everything is coming back out. Everything's coming out.
I think you overestimate how much people still enjoy just having their content legally.
Yeah. And people like getting out the house, going to the movie for the experience. Nowadays, they've tried to make the movie theater reclinable couches. Some of them are letting you drink alcoholic beverages all up in there. They've relaxed where they go through my wife's pocketbook when they know I done took her to the dollar store to fill up on snacks, and they let me bring them snacks up in there regardless.
Right.
people, it's still an experience to just leave the house and go somewhere else. And if the movie theaters make the price affordable for just the movie, not withholding the snacks, but just the movie, and they've got contracts in place. Some movie theaters got contracts in place right now for 5 years with studios. If they figure out the recipe to get the act together, it might not kill it off as quickly, because movie theaters for the last 6 years have been trying to do a subscription service that would work, and they kept charging too much. They started out trying to charge 20 something a month, and then they went the complete opposite direction by charging too little. They was trying to charge like $10 a month. You can see anything you want, as much as you want, every day of the week, HD and all that, and that didn't work. So there's a sweet spot somewhere in there for the movie theater. And I'm like T Street, I recommend some movies to go see in the theater. But I also do it because I like the experience every now and then. But I also like coming up here talking to you guys about what I like in those movies. And what bothers me as a Black YouTuber who does stream reporting on movies and TV shows, there are a lot of movies I go see that are good and my people don't watch that the others watch. And I can't, for whatever the reason, get our people to watch those same movies in the veracity that the others watch, nor can I damn near get them to watch me talk about what was good and bad about the movie.
Right. Well, let me look at this about the. I agree with you about trying to find a sweet spot for the subscription service. I actually have the AMC Plus or whatever it is, and I pay for it. I think $21 a month or something like that, or 20 a month, and it allows me to see 3 movies a month, movies a week. Excuse me, every week. So I can go to see any 3 movies. And so if I want to see, and I generally use them to go see like the IMAX HD, whatever. So I'll go check those out. But here's where I think the movie theaters are going over the next couple of years. I think the movie theaters are going to change because, like T-Stream says, he likes going to the movies. Like Lamont says, I like going to the movies. But I think what's going to happen is they're going to move away from just showing movies at the theater, and they already have started this some, to where they're going to use the movie theater as more of a social gathering place, a place where you can have experiences. So it's going to turn into something where they're going to start hosting, say, watch parties for the first episode of the new season of Power, or they're going to start hosting watch parties for the Super Bowl, or for whatever local team they have. They're going to start having watch parties for these, especially now that a lot of these theaters are allowed to serve alcoholic drinks. They're serving better food. You're going to be able to bring in a different sort of clientele, people who are willing to come in there and spend a little money actually in the theater, and then they're going to be able to watch whatever it is. Like for me, if I can go to a movie theater and I can go grab a few drinks and watch a UFC pay-per-view on the big screen, and I can go pay, $15-20 to watch the fight, I'm all about that. That would be great. And I think it's only a matter of time before before they really take their business model in that direction. Because like we've said, these big movies, it's only a matter of time before they stop going to the movie theaters. Let's not forget, when they first came out with movies and DVDs, or videotapes and DVDs, it used to take about a full year or more before they got from the theaters on the video. And now those windows have gotten a whole lot shorter. And eventually, those windows are just going to go away. It's just going to be day and day.
It's 2 months and 14 days it takes for a movie to come out. 2 months and 14 days for an actual movie to hit actual, like an iTunes or something like that, for its release date. So a movie stays in the movie theaters for 2 months. So
they actually do that here now, Larry. Right here in Detroit, you can go like big games, like the big U of M games or the UFC pay-per-views. They'll allocate a theater for that. And just by the way, I just want to put this out here. In 2018, I had rented the theater in the Imagine Theater and hosted a private screening of Halloween, the Michael Myers movie. And so it comes out again in this October. So hopefully the movies stay the same, because I've already paid for the thing. So if you guys are in the Detroit area, come October 19th, come join T Streams and friends at the Imagine Theater for a private screening of Halloween Kills. That is my invite to you.
Hey,
all right. I appreciate that.
I tried to do that for the first Black Panther, and I waited too late. I was in a bidding war with like these social media groups that were into like social blackness, stuff like that. And every movie theater from where I live to Chapel Hill to Raleigh to Winston-Salem to Greensboro, the cheapest price they gave me to rent out a facility from noon until 6 p.m. I had to be out by 6, was $3,000.
Yeah,
So how do you do that? Like, how does that work, G? Like, how does that actually work? Like,
well,
you have to wait for the movie to come out, or do they say, hey, the movie comes out this day, but you guys can come like 3 days before?
No, actually, you have to. It's like Lamont said. Like, I actually got mine like in June last year, and the movie soon as they started wrapping up production, and they started tossing out potential dates. I had went ahead and called my same connect from the last time, but I had got it like maybe about 6 or 7 months in advance the first time, and it was just a matter of having the available space. And they sort of bucked against me a little bit for the caters, because I had it catered and everything, and we're gonna do the same thing again this time. I just wasn't able to get don my little hookup,
So let me ask you a question. let me ask you this. So, like, I know because it's already paid for, correct?
Yeah.
So just say if this goes till then, because if you notice, a lot of movies that are that is supposed to be like, literally, we don't have any blockbusters coming out in August. Half of the movies pulled out. So now we're about to be going into September trying to find out if they're about to start coming out. So if the movie pulls out and goes straight to direct video, which a movie like that, might do, I don't see them pushing a movie like that back. I don't see that, because it's a Halloween movie. It's a horror movie. I see them saying, you know what, we're just gonna release it on VOD or something like that. Do you get your money back, or how does that actually work? They have to get your money back, correct?
You know what? I better go back and fine print read the contract just to double check. And that's a good question, because I did look at it. It wasn't like no multiple page contract. It was more so on behavior and what's allowed and what's not allowed. But I'm sure if they did something like that, they would likely return it.
Yeah, because because if there ain't no movie to show, I'm like, I need my money back.
Yeah, if something like that happens, they would refund your money. But in something like what's going on with coronavirus, what they would try to do, because I read through the fine print, because I got to hustle. And I all my coins, man. I have a goal I'm trying to reach. I need to know.
Right.
They would try to attempt to give you a credit for a future date.
Yeah.
But what happens with everything, I always tell people, anytime you can use your credit card to pay for something, use it, because you've got protection to just simply go into that credit card and dispute anything and get your money back immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And so what happened would be, if you, let's just say that they said, we want to give you an e-credit, and you're like, I need my money back. I don't know if I want to come to the movie theater after Corona. But they keep adamantly telling you, we'll give you an e-credit. All you got to do is dispute it with your credit card company. You get your money back, regardless of what they're doing, because they counseled on you. And I have seen a friend of mine he rented out a place, and they counseled on him because someone came in and offered them more money. Now, he got his money back, but the same privilege should be extended to you, that if a week before you done planned this big birthday party with kids coming to a movie theater, you all of a sudden just turn tails because somebody offered you triple face value, you should be accommodating. And when he pressed them, not only did they give him his money back, but they gave him money on top of that because he was going to go tell the news station.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I got a good working relationship with this particular theater, so I don't. If something like that happens, it may be, they may take something from the catering, but I think we'll be fine. But I hope that come October, all this stuff.
Well, yeah, because like I said, you gotta look at it like this. Like we just got the news today. The kids are indefinitely not going back until the following year. The following school year, which is in August. So, they just announced that today. I'm in California. So I'm like, well, and then today they're announcing like 10 other movies done pulled out and got pushed back. So I'm looking like, my business is, the movie industry. So I'm sitting up here trying to figure out, well, if it ain't no cams and it ain't nothing new coming out, we got to depend on a bunch of, B movies. B movies are good, but it ain't going to be no blockbuster movies to where it's going to make somebody want to watch it.
Yeah,
it's gonna make and then with the shows being pushed back because right now Power's not even filming, and Power and Power was supposed to come on. Power was supposed to be done filming and come on in August. Book 2 was supposed to come out in August.
So that's the one that's not filming.
Book 2 is not filming right now.
Wow.
I think what you're gonna find is that first of all, Hollywood has a gang. Each studio, every single studio out there has a gang of movies that they have just shelved. They're sitting on the shelf either because they didn't have a time and a date for it to be released, or because they said, well, we decided we didn't want to put it out, or they had maybe some dispute with the producers or something. I think what you're going to find is that there's going to be a whole lot of movies that weren't originally supposed to come out that are going to start coming out. Eventually, they're going to need content to start filling up the time.
Yeah, that's true.
And so I think you'll start to see some movies that maybe weren't going to come out that come out. And as far as TV shows, it's going to be tough because there's a lot of, all the production is stopped. So,
yeah,
I mean, you may see some pilot episodes of shows that didn't get picked up. They may start running some specials where they say, hey, we're going to start showing these old pilots or something, or, who knows? I mean, they're going to do they'll be creative. I mean, the whole industry is the creative industry. So they'll be creative on how they're going to fill up those airwaves. But I would not be surprised if we start seeing content like we didn't even know this movie was out there because it's just been sitting on the shelves, So
but still, it goes back.
If those movies actually get pushed up and get on and go to streaming, I'm just seriously thinking that this whole streaming thing, I don't think that's a genie you can put back in the bottle.
Well, you got to look at it like this. Like I said before, they gotta figure out something to make their money back, because think about this. Universal, which one of the biggest movies that everybody was looking for was Fast and Furious 9. They pushed it all the way back to next year. They pushed back Minions, and that's a little kids movie. You got Disney, right now they're up in the air on what they're gonna do with, either release it to Disney Plus or, push it back to next year. Then you got the Batman that was supposed to come out next year. It's in whole production. The production stopped indefinitely. So we don't even know when they're going to go back to production. So that causes a ripple on their release date for next year. So, you have all these movies that, are like in limbo right now. And it's like, okay, so where do we go? Now, as far as movies that come out in like December or something like that, now if this lasts all the way until then, it's gonna be a sad year. It's gonna be a very sad year. It's gonna be a very sad year because you have some great blockbusters that come out in December. What are you gonna do with that? Because don't forget, you got Coming to America 2 coming out. That's coming out in December. You got and some other movies that's coming out that's supposed to be coming out this year. So what do you do when if this continues? What do you do?
Like my man Mike Willie said, but it's a lot of movies that are good even though they're not blockbusters, which
That's
I think
true.
that kind of goes back to Larry's point. You know, like some of these second base shelf movies that aren't good, and TV shows too, by the way, they're getting pushed now. So, for example, the next thing we about to talk about is Tiger King. And I know T Streams is ready to jump in here on this one.
Hey, you know what? Hey, I'll tell you this. If it wasn't for Cardi B mentioning something about a GoFundMe, I would have never watched it. And then when I looked at it, when I read about it, I'm like, he went to jail for attempted murder? I'm like, I got to sit down and watch it. And it was interesting from beginning to the end. And I'm like, it had me hooked. It had me hooked. But I'm going to be honest with you, I never knew the dude existed. Like I would tell my wife. I never knew if Cardi B if Cardi B wouldn't have said anything, because I was looking at it, I was passing through it. You know, I grabbed it, I put it in Streamflix, and I'm like, okay, whatever. And I'm like, I was looking at it through Netflix because we still got our Netflix account. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. It's another show. I don't want to watch that. Literally, like I said, if Cardi B would have never said something about it, it wouldn't have never been getting promotion like it's been getting, I would have never watched it. And I think it was the word of mouth that promoted that show. Because if you notice, and this is very, very, very sad. Self-Made was good. Self-Made was a very good 4-part series, but it didn't get as much publicity as this Tiger King is getting.
Yeah,
and which is bad, because you have celebrities talking about Tiger King when you could have had celebrities talking about Self-Made.
Yeah. Well, I think
you're talking about Self-Made. You're talking about the Madam C.J. Walker story.
Yeah,
but that's different, because the Madam C.J. Walker story it's a series, it's a TV show, it's a fictionalized thing. The Tiger King is dramatic and so unbelievable because it's real life. It's a docuseries, and so for a lot of people, we know the Madam C.J. Walker story is real, but it's history that we all know of. Not all of us, but a lot of Black people know of. We've heard of before. But to actually see a docuseries that's something that's happening right now, a true crime event that's happening right now, I mean, that just gets people, that makes people really interested. So, I mean, yes, it would be nice if celebrities and whoever else pushed that other movie to bring it out to the forefront so more people watched it. But, it's another TV show.
Yeah, that's true. So what did you think about the Tiger King, man?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, man. I'm like I'm like so far out of touch with this like redneck hillbilly, I saw it trending on all media platforms and everybody talking about it, and I normally don't even jump into those kind of fads like that. And then we were discussing it, and Lamont was like, "Man, check it out," and such and such. We're gonna be talking about this. And so the first night I watched about 4 episodes, and I was like, man. And then I had to grab myself by the neck just to watch the last couple of episodes. But I understand that we live in a world where that type of drama and stuff is like appealing, man. But I just saw it like really as some old corny backwoods bullshit. Really. And,
bro, did you see my review I did where I broke it down why, if you're an African American, why this gets on your nerves?
Yeah.
And I also, even in that review, said I'm not going to go too in depth about why it gets on the nerves of an African American, other than the blanket obvious. Would you believe some white dudes jumped in the comment section and said that the travesty of the whole thing is that I brought race into it? Then another one jumps into the comment section and said, "Now you want to play the race card." And I said, what card did he play in this movie, you fucking hypocrite? He played the gay card. He played the thruple card. He played the beat animals card. And if you want to compare animals being enslaved like slaves was and getting exploited, you can play that card too. I said, a hit dog will holler. And that's what they did. You're the one that's racist if you think that what I said is racist when it comes to the way this guy was behaving. This guy was a complete clown. We go pay good money to see a circus, and that's what you got with him. You got a redneck, hillbilly, right-wing, gun-toting, gay flame.
Yeah. Hey, wait a minute. Hey, Lamont, wait, Lamont. You also got to put up in there that he was falling in love with straight guys.
That's what I'm talking about, bro.
Yeah.
And then
they wasn't the right straight ones. The right straight
man. He was falling in love with them dudes that had 2 teeth hanging off cliffs in West Virginia.
Wait a minute. No, what it was he was falling in love with the crack, with the meth head, because the dude was on meth. And you got to understand this: it's just like any other drug head. A drug head would do anything for drugs, point blank, and we all know this. We done seen drug dealers, drug addicts steal from their own mama. So what do you think them kind of the meth heads would do? They will sit there and they'll sit up there and they will suck a dude off. Okay, he's giving me meth. He's keeping me messed up. Forget it. I'm gay.
Well, to follow up on Tiger King, Larry, I told you Shaquille O'Neal was going to have to come back out and say something. Well, he came on his podcast today. He came out and I quote, "I never knew Joe Tiger King. I did visit the zoo. I do not own tigers anymore. I am a man who loves animals and I give big money to charities and zoos for the refuge of animals. And I repeat, I had no contact with Joe outside of that one visit I saw him. I told you Shaq was going to have to answer to the Masters and come back and give a better answer."
Yeah, clear it up, boy.
But let me tell you why he cleaned it up. A video surfaced by TMZ of Joe Tiger King getting upset in 2015 that he was mad that he could not use the N-word on his show.
Right.
Larry, I'll give you that one first.
I tell you.
I mean, but remember, Larry, remember this. I'm the racist because I called out stereotyping in the Tiger King, but I'm the racist. Lamont Tyson, the blackest dude on this screen right here. I'm the blackest one up here.
I'm just saying, I think that, we know there was a racial element to this whole thing. They played up to it. The whole sort of hillbilly trailer park dude, they played that and they sort of played that up against, to the opposite of a sort of, eccentric, rich, white, but sort of respectable, chick on the other side. But all that still has to do with sort of the PYT thing versus the rich chicks. We didn't throw the race card in there. The producers put that in there.
Thank you.
It is what it is. But as far as him wanting to use the N-word, I'll be honest with you, I just don't understand white people's fascination with wanting to use that word. They will try and find any reason to use it when they can. If it's talking about a news story and they're trying to use it as a quote, if they're trying to use it in some sort of academic setting, they seem to really just, the idea that there is something that they cannot have access to. It's almost like they're saying, I'm white. I should be able to do anything that I want to do, and I shouldn't have any consequences. So it's like the fact that there is something that they can't do just bothers the hell out of them.
P-Stream, what you think?
Well, you know what? I look at it like this. Me personally, I think a lot of them say it anyway, regardless. If we're not around, I think they use it freely. And don't get me wrong. If it's anybody in your subscribership that's out there that's Anglo-Saxon, but I'm not a racist. I do have certain views, but I do think that I think that the majority I think a lot of white people would want to use it because for one, if they're not looking at it as a derogatory statement, then they're trying to rob the culture from it. So if he asks to say it on his video, then to me that lets me know that he uses it anyway.
Right.
And
Right.
he's probably
He didn't. Well, he didn't ask. He got mad because he couldn't.
Yeah.
Right.
So
he didn't ask.
So he's not. So he's not. He's definitely not using that conversation with black people, because the right one, to get you tightened down real quick. And so he got to be using it with others of his own kind. So he probably got a bunch of little, his little freaky little friends, and they throwing the N-word around however they choosing to use it. I think it's a good thing that they didn't allow him to use it. And it's interesting that that clip was put out of him getting as angry as he did about it, to each his own. I think I don't know, man. I don't think all white people bad, but I think it's enough of them that are. And I got some cool friends as white people. One of my homeboys I grew up was white. We balled on the same court, rolled out the same traps and everything. And he was from the same hood, and he used the N-word freely, but for some reason we never just looked at it. We looked at that something like differently. And I don't know if that's just a culture thing, but now the way it's being portrayed, is when the white person uses it, they are using it to strictly be demeaning or sarcastic, another form of demeaning. They're not. I don't even use the word, but man, I don't know, man.
DVD King, speak on.
Yeah, I look at it like this. Now, I've using the word. I cut back on using the word because I said that you gotta. I was the main one. Lamont, you've been following me ever since I've been on YouTube. It was always in this, and you would thought you were watching Cat Williams when you came to my live show. Mm-hmm. Now, how do I feel about other people using it? I look at it like this. I don't think anybody should, because you got to look at it like this. We're the only race that puts down each other. We're the only race. Oh, what's up, my end? And well, not knowing that was given to us as a whole meaning of something else, and we're using it to embrace each other. Just like calling a female dog, but you call your woman a female dog, she get mad. But then she go over there to her female friend and be like, yeah, that's my B right here. Yeah. So it's a catch-22. It's like, dude, for real. So with him getting mad because he couldn't say it, dude, you getting mad because you can't say a word that basically nobody should be saying. We don't walk around and when we see a white dude, hey, what's up, my C? You know what I'm saying? We don't go around and be like, yeah, man, what's up, my red? We don't do that. We don't, and you don't hear them using it with each other. You don't hear them, hey, yeah, that's my C friend right there. That's my red friend. I'm not gonna say it because I don't want people. That's the last thing I need people to be saying about me now. Oh, DVD King racist? Nope, I'm not. So you ain't gonna catch me fit. But my whole thing is that when it comes down to it, I don't think anybody should say it. Period. I really don't. It's just I really don't think that people should embrace it or even say it. But when you turn on the music and you hear these rappers and these comedians saying and all that, I think that's where a lot of people get twisted because they saying it, we can say it too. Because I guarantee you this, people like Eminem, people like Michael Rappaport, they say it. For a fact they say it. Now, one thing I can tell you, I've never heard Eminem say it on a song. I've never heard Michael Rappaport say it Gary Owens or Michael Rappaport say it in a movie, but I never heard Paul Walker say it, but he said it before he died. He was saying it because look at the crowd he was around. Vin Diesel probably said it.
There's a lot of white people that said.
Thank you. So,
Vin Diesel's black though, he can say it.
The jury is still out on that. I'm sorry. The jury is still out on that. People say he black. Show me proof. Show me proof he black.
He's black when it's convenient to be black, and he's white all the other time.
Yeah, okay. There you go. Like I said.
I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, it's like that for quite a few people in Hollywood. I mean, you don't.
But wait a minute, though. Now, let me ask you this. I know one person now. Is it okay? Now, people say that no white people should, like, we know the white people say it. And now, let me ask you a question. We all just seen Drake Baby. We just seen Drake Baby. Drake just came out. That baby is white as snow. That baby look just like his mama. But Drake say the N-word. So is that because it just came? We seen his mama now. We done seen Drake mama. Drake mama is white. Drake mama's not black. She white. His daddy was black. His mama was white. So is it okay for him to say it? No. Just because he got a little.
Because one drop seasons the pot. If you have a black parent, you are black. That's just the way it is. Being light skin doesn't make you not black. Just because you're light skin doesn't mean that you're not black. It just means that you're light skin.
Larry, you over there cooking soul food. My man said one drop seasons the pie.
That's what it is. That is what it is. I mean, there's a whole lot of light-skinned people out there that are still as black as the darkest person that's out there. They are black because that is what they are. Your skin tone shade does not determine whether or not you are black or not. That's why Diesel's black. The Rock is black. Halle Berry's black. All these light-skinned Negroes, the whole beige crew, they're still black.
They all use it when it's convenient for them. But fellas, we've got to get to the last subject of the day because I'm gonna have to get ready to get up out of here.
Hold on, Lamont. Let me add one more point onto this. I think it's important to say. First of all, I don't think the N-word should be used in mixed company. I think that's one of the biggest problems. It's not like black folks haven't used that word for a long time, but it wasn't really, I don't feel like, until hip hop kicked off that we started using that word in our music and really started to use it regularly in mixed company. And I think the fact that we use it amongst ourselves with each other, we can use it in a positive or a negative way, but I think what it really is a testament to is how resilient we are as a people, because we took a word that was designed to be destructive towards us and we flipped it and we said we can use this as a positive thing to some respects, as a term of endearment. If somebody wants to try and tear you down with something, if you can take that power away from it, if they want to use this word to destroy you, if you can take that power away from that word, then you have just weakened whatever it is that they whatever weapon they feel they have to use against you, you've weakened that weapon. And we've done that somewhat by using this word as a power, as a term of endearment. Because the N-word, it still bothers us, but it doesn't have nearly the power that it used to have. And that's the same though. That's the same with the word bitch. And when women use it towards each other, they're doing the same thing. They're taking that power away from the word. And does it still hurt if somebody else outside their group uses it? Sure, but it doesn't have the same power because they've weakened it. They've weakened they've weakened that weapon that people had against them. And I think it's important to recognize that. But I think that word still shouldn't be used in mixed company. If you and I are talking on the phone and we're dropping N-bombs, I don't think it's a big deal, but I don't think we should probably use it on the show.
I can agree with that. I can agree with that, my N-girl. Now, moving right along to the last subject of the day, coronavirus again, ladies and gentlemen. T-Streams, I'm gonna hit you first with this one. This coronavirus, we've seen it politicized to the detriment of the American people. We know that our dear leader, President Trump, has dropped the ball several times, and he's tried to pick the ball up and rectify his issue based on the scientific help of a lot of medical professionals. Mm-hmm. Here's the latest coming out right now, hot off the presses. The governor of Tennessee, may I remind you, he's a Republican, has just put out a statement saying there is no data that social distancing works. So he is not going to issue a stay-at-home order, and that's near and dear to my heart because I live in the state that touches 10 of bum fucking C. Streams. What do you think when you hear elected officials rejecting medical science to say that they don't think social distancing is working?
Well, it just goes to show you, man, that even the fool can make it to office. So apparently Trump ain't the only one in there. So I don't even see where he could even conjure up. I hadn't heard that until you just said that. And I honestly feel sorry for the people that lives in the state of Tennessee. I got friends down there in Tennessee.
I do too.
And to go and put that out like that, your folks, hopefully the people are wise enough to look beyond that and stay behind in the house anyway. But to have your leaders, when the whole country is going like this, to try to go against the grain and then say that there is no data. So where's his research coming from? And the other night when we were on, Larry, you had said something that made great sense, and because we actually seeing it when it comes to containing this, you as well, Lamont. The one thing you had said, Larry, was that you're going to have these little epic centers here, pop up here, and here. And then Lamont, you said that maybe we should just lock everything down just for a couple weeks and see if we can gain some control over it, with the whole United States on a world front. Just stop, pause, and see if they can try to clear, bring a halt to the spread. Because right now, how they're saying that, well, the curve is probably about another 4 to 6 weeks out. Well, that's fine, but is that curve going to be for California? Is it going to be for Michigan? Is it going to be because the way it's going now is going to be a curve in each of these different locations, all at each different times. Right. And if you got folks practicing, if you got folks listening to that foolish bum down there in Tennessee, then they really in the world of trouble down there, because they're going to be up and about, minding their own business, spreading and doing all this other kind of stuff, and eventually, social cleansing themselves out. And it's not good when you have like people that get in office and just say dumb stuff like that, man. It honestly really don't even make any sense. And
I feel like if the governor is gonna do that, and one of these things, I don't understand why these governors that always seem to do this and talk this crap like this, they always seem to be Republican. And
you know why?
I'm not going to say that the Republican Party is a clear and present danger to the American people, but I think the American people can see it for what it is.
But you know why, Larry? You know why?
Why?
Because their beliefs categorically, until it fits their narrative, goes against what proven science says, because proven science tends to lean left.
Right.
And it goes against their core belief, which is religion is head over everything, when we're supposed to be in a country that is ambiguous of any one religion. You might want Christianity to be the hometown religion, but the country ain't built on that. And Republicans,
but that goes with the whole fake. That goes with that whole fake, flawed idea that religion and science are somehow incompatible, and it just doesn't make any sense. I get exactly what you're saying, but those people who believe that, I just don't understand that flawed way of thinking. Because I mean, if you truly believe that God is the creator of all things, how do you then separate out the idea that if he's the creator of all things, he also created our principles of science? I mean, how do you just, he created all things except for science. He didn't create that. Somebody else created that. And that doesn't count. That's just crazy. And it's asinine. I don't even understand how people can get there. But honestly, I think like if Tennessee does not want to shut down and do the social distancing thing, their neighboring states they should call in the National Guard, demand their borders, and they should simply close their borders off with Tennessee. And because Tennessee has some of the Mississippi on there, they should do the same thing. They should call out the Coast Guard and block off their border. They should just simply say, you can't go into Tennessee or go out, and don't allow any commercial flights or any private flights or anything to go in or out of Tennessee.
I agree.
Let them sit there by themselves.
And as a person who lives in North Carolina, I don't want to hear this mess, man. I'm with you, Larry. I want tents. I want border control. I want you to build me a wall, Trump.
Around Tennessee.
Build me a wall against Tennessee that goes all the way to the moon. Because ain't nobody on a wall that go from the ground to the moon, because we don't want no more Rona. You understand me? Rona is in my life. Rona is messing up my cuts for the sluts.
And so that statement came out today?
Man, it came out like 30 minutes ago. I was sitting here stewing on it while y'all was talking all that. I was sitting here just like, man, y'all about to really get me started. DVD King, what you think about the Tennessee governor not believing that social distancing works?
It is. That's BS. Because it's been shown that this whole pandemic, epidemic, whatever you want to call it, this whole virus is 100% real. And the whole thing is this: when it comes down to it, like I was doing research on it, and the research that I came up with, because I'm like, I wanted to know where it came from, because everybody's saying, oh, it came from China and all this. Well, come to find out that it wasn't a man-made virus, that the virus has been already in us. It just mutated. And this is the true research. You can actually Google it and see and read articles on it. The COVID-19 virus has already been in us. It just was dormant. That's why it's flu-like symptoms. And that because now it has mutated, and basically they have to understand now, Lamont, this is the funny thing. This is what you gotta look at. If you have the flu and I come over to your house, am I gonna catch the flu?
Maybe or maybe not.
Oh, that's the whole thing. But if I sit up there and we're playing dominoes or something, and you're sick, you coughing all over everything, I'm more than likely I'm gonna catch it.
Your chances are highly likely.
Thank you. So if I stay away from you while you sick, am I gonna catch it?
No, you can catch something else.
That's generally not true, though. That's not entirely fake, but that's generally not true, because usually the period when with the flu, when people are most contagious is when they're asymptomatic. Once you start showing your symptoms of having the flu, once you're coughing, you have the fever and all that other stuff, by then, the viruses or the whatever it is that's causing that flu has started moving along the course where you're not as contagious as you could be,
and that's why they're telling everybody.
It's usually before that when you're most contagious, when you're asymptomatic.
And that's why they're telling everybody to stay in the house. See, if people would listen, we can get past this a lot quicker. But if people that ain't listening, they're like, forget it. I'm going to go party. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go do that, and I don't care. It's people like that. That's going, because you don't know who's sick around you. You don't know who's sick.
Here's the thing, Lamont, is that there's been a lot of talk saying, well, the federal government can't force the states to have stay-at-home orders. It's up to the governors that they can't enforce it. But what they can do is simply say, if you do not have a stay-at-home order, we are cutting you off of all federal funds. You will get nothing. You won't get any respirators. You won't get any PPE. You won't get any funds to cover your unemployment insurance. Your businesses will not get any of this stimulus package. You will get jack-ish. And so if they just simply say, if you don't comply with the stay-at-home order and issue your own, expect you will get no federal funds, period. And I guarantee you put that out to the governors, and there will be stay-at-home orders throughout all 50 states.
This president can't do that because he's got to continue to placate these people. He's the Tiger King. And he's placating these people because each and every day we suffer with the coronavirus. His approval ratings are going through the toilet. He has handled this thing horribly. And the people that look the best handling this are the Cuomos of New York, the mayor in Detroit, the mayor in New Orleans, some of the leaders in California who have seen the curve bend because of social distancing, who have seen the curve bend because they incorporate social distancing with the test, who have seen the curve bend because they incorporate social distancing plus the test, and their healthcare providers wearing PPE. They're starting to see the thing slow down. I didn't say it completely stopped, but they're starting to see it slow down. And for him to admit that would be giving a victory to the people that he really, really hates, and he just can't do it, even if it's for the good of all the American people. Because we all know on this platform that when the American electorate shows up, all the people that are registered to vote, the Democrats win all those races. When the American electorate, people who are registered to vote, don't show up in mass numbers, that's when you typically have the people that are in office winning those elections right now.
Right.
And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we've got to end this long debate. We've been able to bring you guys some level of intelligent entertainment with intelligent information. We had people come on the back end, and we had them stay for the whole entire thing. If you want to get on this show, hit me on the gram so we can invite you up here as special guest to the show. I will be back tomorrow night with the good lady Nicole. Y'all saw her do the movie review with me called The Invisible Man, and she was also up here talking about what are the barriers to educated Black women getting good dates. So we'll have something hot like that for y'all to watch tomorrow. Yes, so y'all tune in for that. Larry, give us a last word. T-Stream, give us a last word. And I'll go to you first, DVD King, for your last word so we can get out of here.
Man, I appreciate you having me on. I appreciate being a part of this panel right here. Appreciate T-Stream, appreciate Larry. You know, like I said, you guys are my peers. You guys are my peers, and I respect you guys. And you know, I'm happy to be able to come on this platform. And to all your subscribers out there, thank you so much, and I appreciate it, Lamont. Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Anything, T-Streams, get us out of here.
It's always good to have good, constructive dialogue, man, on all forms of topics, whether it's something satirical or whether it's something political or real. Just everybody continue to do your part, play your part. If you're out there in Tennessee, don't even pay 2 tensions what this bumfuck is talking about. Nope. Take care of you and your family, and do what you got to do so we can slow the curve. Be safe until the next time. Peace.
Mm-hmm. Larry, last word.
You want me to get us out of here too?
Get us out of here. Last word.
All right, y'all. So I know everybody's been telling us to wash our hands, to do the 2 happy birthdays, 20 seconds, wash our hands. I want to say continue to wash your hands. But we have all been at home, working from home, sitting on the couch. So I want to also remind you to wash your ass. Get up. Go take a shower. Put water on your nuts. Make sure that when you wash your hands, you also wash your butt. That's what I have to say.
Oh, my God. Put on some deodorant.
And put on some deodorant,
It is what it is, man.
Yeah, man. If you brush your teeth, brush your body.
Nobody wants butter on your teeth and nobody wants butter in your butt. So just go ahead and wash it all.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, y'all. It's been real. Lamont, T-Streams, everybody that's in the comment section, thank you all for showing up. It's been fun. And until next time, love, peace, and hair grease.
All right.
Peace.
Yeah, man. Boy, y'all dudes is nuts.